I'm Billy the Goat, and you're watching Viper. The first one that comes to mind is probably Locked In with Fortescue, and that's probably the one that like numbers wise and impact wise, that's definitely the one that took off the most. 'Cause I feel like before that, I definitely had like a very core audience, but then after Locked In, it just became a lot more mainstream, like a lot more brand deals, and just start to get recognized by different types of people, people's aunties, people's uncles, and that. You get me? So I say Locked In was like the main thing, but there's a lot of things that kind of made, like, even when I done the grilling, I know there's a big shift there. Even when I done my show on GRM Unprovoked, so that made a big difference as well. But also another thing that I forget to mention sometimes is probably the driving lessons. Them driving lesson videos, I can't lie, like any country I've ever been to, yeah, there's always been someone that mentioned the driving lesson videos. Like those, I don't know what it is, yeah, but the people just love them. Yeah, obviously I say I'm always surprised, like when, especially when it's like older people or like in different countries. I think we went in Germany. Even when I went like Saudi Arabia, people recognizing me. So like stuff like that always shocks me. But I guess the internet's the internet, don't it? So it just makes the world smaller. I'd say like it's probably the only place that actually feels like kind of homey to me. Cause I feel like obviously when I was younger, I used to move around a lot. You get me? But I feel like, cause obviously I'm in London quite a bit as well. Whenever I come back to Manchester, it's like a very refreshing feeling. Like just like I'm back home. Yeah, I'm trying to say. So yeah, I'd say it's home. Obviously, we just got they just reached out to us. Really, they reached out they was actually in contact with us for a while. And at first, I feel like there was a lot of like kind of like confusion from my side in terms of like is this real? Is this fake? Like what do they want from me, kind of thing. And then after a while, after a few like phone calls, after a few meetings and stuff like that, I started to understand like how big of a deal this is actually gonna be. And then yeah, literally, and also another thing is like the amount of like creative control that we had as well, like in terms of how like much respect they showed to our vision and what we wanted to do as well. That's one thing that really like surprised me. So yeah, and then we just came up with the design, and the rest was history, man. Literally, the rest was history. Yeah, because obviously I wasn't actually aware that they were Manchester based. I thought it was still based in London. So when I found out Manchester based, it was like it's just meant to be. You know what I'm trying to say? It was meant to be, kind of thing. And like I said, it was just like a perfect partnership, because like it's basically like I'm doing what I'm doing already, but just like alongside NICCE. Like, I don't feel like I'm having to do anything different than I usually do. Yeah, and I definitely feel like that's important to like any content creators, anyone that's in this field, full stop. Like when you do like things with brands, like a lot of people are very quick to kind of like water themselves down or like conform. But I feel like if you want to have longevity and you want to stay true to your brand, you can only really partner up with people that actually like make sense for you. You get me? You can't just partner with just anyone and everyone. Yeah, nah, definitely, man. I feel like there's things that I've done in the past where like my audience would have watched it and maybe like known that, yeah, this isn't really Billy. And obviously you can always gauge from the feedback that things get in terms of what you should stay away from, what you should keep doing. So like I said before, like when I do the driver lesson videos, because of how like raw and authentic they are, that's why they just go do so many numbers. So I feel like the authenticity thing is definitely something I'm never trying to lose. Yeah, feedback that stood out. I don't know. I feel like I feel like it's the goat on the back that really sold it. I feel like people love the fact that I had the goat on the back. You get me? So yeah. Obviously, like I was always just a fan of music. See, man, I was a fan of music, and I wouldn't say like I was a music lover, but I just liked what I liked in it. And I feel like I used to always like just have conversations with my friends about like when a rapper would drop a project, we'd always get into debates, heated arguments. So when I started making content, when I started streaming, it just felt natural for like that to be a big part of the content that I make. So yeah, literally. On my channels, I don't know. I feel like one of the first ones that I ever had wasn't even on my channel. It was on a channel called Code Socials, and it was like a duo. The videos, I think it's still up now. It's called Duo Diggity. Fans think the same. I feel like there was a clip from there that like done the rounds on the blogs, and I had like one of the first like appearances that I made on socials. So that one definitely holds a special place too. And new ideas for my content. I'm not gonna lie, that I feel like before I came into it, I already had so many ideas in it. So it's very rare that I get to a point where I'm stuck for ideas. Obviously, because I do so many different things as well. I do YouTube, I do streaming, but I feel like obviously because I got a team around me as well. I got management, I got a team, I got like editors that help me, and they help me come up with ideas as well, or help me develop ideas, I should say. And in terms of what challenges that I face, I'd say like sometimes you do find yourself like struggling to find motivation. I'd say that, but that's just like more like a phase. It don't really last so long. And some of the challenges, I'll probably just say like always finding that next thing. Because as a content creator, I was looking for that next high, like always looking for that next big opportunity, next thing that's gonna take you to the next level. So I like always look for that next thing is probably like a challenge that a lot of us face. So to be honest, like I wouldn't say I experienced burnout too much, because like I said, like number one, I do so many different things, so I don't ever feel repetitive. I do the streaming, I do the podcast, like I do like YouTube as well. I do different things. It don't feel too repetitive and too cyclical. or cyclical, whatever the word is. Yeah. But also another thing is just doing things that you enjoy as well, innit? 'Cause I feel like sometimes a content creator might do something that their fans love, but they don't really enjoy it, and they find themselves just doing it because of their fans love it. But after a while, you can tell that the person doing it doesn't really enjoy what they're doing, and you just get burnt out. So I feel like always staying true to what you want to do, and like almost forcing your audience to love what you love, kind of thing. That's how you avoid getting burnt out. Obviously everyone's different, innit? Some people, like, naturally, like when you're going through something or like you're having a bad day, naturally you just want to shut up from the world. But I feel like when you've built a platform of being yourself, I feel like sometimes you can show that side to you. Sometimes I might go on stream when I'm ill and I just tell them I can't, like, I'm ill today, and they'll just be like, oh, get well soon, this and that. I feel like that's the beauty of streaming, because of like it's such an intimate connection with your chat. Yeah, it's like they almost accept you even when you're not like having the best of days. Like, so literally having a friend, like having a group chat. I'd say the one unprovoked that, like, I didn't feel like the same person after was probably the one with Chip. That one was it. That one was like, because obviously like the nature of interviews, like a lot of the rappers that interview is easy to kind of like get under the skin, but Chip is like very good at, like, he's very good at mind games still. So I kind of, like, after that one, that was an intense interview still. So that one definitely made me, like, I say it made me better. It made me better at what I do. It made me better at what I do still. I wouldn't say I don't know how to handle it, but sometimes there is interviews where, like, obviously everyone's different, innit? There is interviews where like maybe like your go-to style isn't really working with this person, so you just kind of have to, like, for example, there was an interview I done on my stream with a rapper called PS, and obviously his character, I don't think there's anyone like him. So like in that environment, I just kind of had to just sit back and just let him kind of take over. You get what I'm trying to say? But I'm sure a lot of people could tell by my face on stream that it wasn't my usual kind of guest. But yeah, though, man, I just sometimes you just have to be able to adapt and just read the room, really. Yeah, I know he's an interesting character still, but big him up though. Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's the same. Everything goes in cycles, innit? So I feel like there was a phase not too long ago where a lot of things were kind of like commercial, very mainstream. Like everything was high production. Like YouTube was kind of like even now it's kind of like TV in a sense. Like, but I feel like it's coming back to like the old days where it's a lot more about like authenticity and your personality. You know, like when I was coming up, like I mean, not when I was coming up, when I was growing up. Like YouTubers were just like, there was no difference between them and a normal person. Whereas now YouTubers are kind of like actors. I feel like it's getting back to the point where like the real personalities are coming to the forefront. How they influence the direction of my content. Obviously, like I said, sometimes like I do things, and then I'll see like what kind of reaction it gets from my fan base, and then my audience, I should say, and then I realize, okay, maybe I should lean more into that. So like with my YouTube stuff, I'm doing a lot more kind of like journalistic type of videos rather than like my usual trolling stuff, because I noticed that when I do it gets a good reception. So that's an example of how like it's influenced the direction I'm going in. Nah, not really, because I enjoy everything I do, so I'm not really too bothered, to be honest. I don't know what's my most memorable, funniest moment on camera. Where do I even start? Actually, my mind's actually gone blank. You know, I can't even think. I'm trying to think in terms of my streams and that. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest, because like I feel like every time I do something new, I feel like it's better than the last thing that I've done. So I can't really pinpoint a specific moment, to be honest. Probably stand up, you know, stand up comedy. That's I love watching stand up, innit? And to be fair, I've dabbled and dabbled in it, and it's gone well, but it's never something I've taken seriously or like I've like tried to push out there. It's just something that I've just done just to show myself that I can do it. So yeah, definitely something that I'd like to. Actually, I don't know whether I'd like to venture into it more, but it's just, yeah. If there was anything outside of social media, it would probably be stand-up. And like I said, I enjoy watching it, and the times I've done it, I enjoy doing it. So who knows, innit? Who knows? Dave Chappelle. Yeah, obviously that was like BC. That's like black and white days. But I do my homework on the old school comedians though, and like Richard Pryor was actually very, very funny. I feel like he was ahead of his time. Cause like even I watched some of his stand up from like whenever it was the 50s, 60s, and I watch it now and I'm still laughing. So he was definitely ahead of his time. So I probably should say God, you know. I can't lie to you, because sometimes I look back at my career and I just think like a lot of things just clicked into place. Like obviously I work hard. Obviously I like to think that I'm good at what I do, but there's a lot of people that work hard and they're good at what they do and they don't really see much progression. So I'd probably just say God, you know. Literally. Yeah, timing, but I feel like timing and God go hand in hand, because his timing's the best timing, innit? So I feel like a lot of, like, he just makes things happen at the right time. So yeah, but timing's a big thing. So timing's a big thing. But at the same time, though, is the reason why timing is weird because like you never really know when the right time is to do something to make a certain move. Like you won't know until you do it. So a lot of people are waiting for the right time, but time ain't waiting for us. So you just gotta keep going. I wish someone probably just told me to start on my own platforms earlier. Because at the start, like the first year and a half of my career, I wasn't doing anything on my own platform. I was just on other platforms. You get me? And I only really started my own streaming and my own YouTube like after locked in. So I wish someone told me to create it from the very jump and just be building it up. So yeah, ownership is so important. Ownership is very, very important still. And I feel like that's something that gets lost. Like the people that do it the best probably like the sidemen, like KSI and them, man. Like they even though they've done so much commercial deals and that, like they own everything they do. And I feel like that's something that's so key. But partnerships are important as well. But ownership is probably the most important thing.